everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So today, I'm going to be going over Ukraine and Russia. Russia hit a government building of Ukraine's, and this is for the very first time. So it's showing that Russia's up in the ante now. One thing that did scare me that Zelensky said that I kind of took out of context, because you can kind of take that out of context, is that he said that Putin has everything that he wants, has got everything that he wants from Trump. Like, what do you mean? Let's take a look. I mean, I know it gets complicated, and I know that this war can get complicated, but it just seems so organized, yet not. The prime minister building was uh, destroyed, but yet the prime minister, nothing happened to the prime minister. Just like he went in to try to take out both Zelensky and his wife, and that got superseded, you know, in the beginning of the war. Um, so more sanctions against Russia. Um, I am I am ready to enact more sanctions against Russia. You know, they Hillary Clinton said, and this is coming from somebody who said, Hillary, he was joking with Hillary, talking about Hillary Clinton said, pardon me. And he said, once I become president, I will pardon you. I can show you the roast of Hillary Clinton, and you will probably be like, her saying to Trump that if he can get this war ended between Russia and Ukraine, she'll give him a Nobel Peace Prize, or submit in for a Nobel Peace Prize. It's so foreign. It's so foreign. They don't even get along. So I'm saying, what is the organization in this war going on? Innocent lives, at the cost of two men playing a penis match with each other over freaking land. If this was a war that really needed to be over urgently, why don't he just sit up there and take out the target and take out the target? You know, they are not to be seen together, but on secret telephone lines, you know, this is a controlled war. You can say that, right? TikTok, I can say that, right? This is a controlled war. It's being controlled, right? GPS. Funding wars is funding his projects and is one step closer to getting land. Who have to benefit? While the war is going on, Zelensky don't have to sit up there and be sit up there and get out of presidency while, oh, that's hot, while Putin, um he the war is controlled. If it wasn't controlled, the war would be, it would be the end of Ukraine as we know it. But it's a controlled war. There would be more government buildings down. There would be more things like Russia and Ukraine airspace is similar, but Russia has more capabilities. He said that Trump was ready to is ready to make more phase go to phase two for more sanctions on Russia. And she said these sanctions has not worked. This isn't his war. This, if anything, this would be a peace, a world peace thing where Trump goes in and try to find peace within every country so that it will remain peaceful. That's what he's trying to seek. Self-actualization for the world, and it's like people keep trying to sabotage him in every um angle, at every angle, you know. There's something that'll be painful to Putin himself. They've been causing so much hurt on Trump, keeping him in wars that aren't his, and, starting drug wars, killing, assaulting, and as soon as he decides that he's going to hit a button with Putin, he's not going to be able to tolerate that. Because we that's why we are the Department of War now. We're not on the defense. We're not defending ourselves. We are war. We study war. We study the people behind wars, and we learn about um them, and what they're capable of doing, how they're capable of trying to infiltrate America. And we work to defend and protect and honor and have integrity with America. I want you to look at that. Gave Putin what he want. What did Putin want? What did Putin really want? What did Putin want? What did Putin want that he got where he touched down on Alaskan, on American soil? What did he get from us? Or what did he think he got from us? Because when they talk, they get brief. It's a pre-briefing. Then they get on It's a pre-briefing. They get on camera, and sometimes it be a debriefing, or sometimes they get right back on the plane to go right back to Russia, you know. And what did he get, or he thinks he got in Alaska? And how would Zelensky know this? Now he's saying he wanted to meet with President Trump. Those two statements made no sense. He gave Putin what he wanted. He wanted to meet with President Trump. He doesn't want to meet with President Trump. President Trump is making his life miserable. He's making his life miserable with sanctions. Why would he want to meet him? It's beneficial for people like Putin to meet him so that he can keep the peace for as long as he can. If he could find a way to infiltrate America tonight, if he could find a way to infiltrate America tomorrow, if he can find a way to do the exact same thing he's allegedly, or he is controlly doing with Zelensky, he would do it. He would do it. And Putin got it. It's Putin got what? Now, CNN can't sit up there and say that I didn't sit up there and say anything. I said something bad or something irrelevant, because, like he said, Putin got what he wanted. this is something that y'all did. Y'all are the ones that put this soundbite up here showing what Zelensky said to about Putin and Trump. You know, Russia was included on the Russia hoax. It was like it went like they were in the Situation Room or some type of room in the Oval Office, and it was a secret meeting. Obama and his top men to talk about this is all out there to talk about making up a Russia host, but Russia's name was in it. And that leads me to believe that they made up the host. They have some sort of influence here in America. And Trump worked his tail off to make sure he won fair and square again as president, as the 47th president. They have influence over here. He said, with war, you never know what you're getting. That is so true. With war, you never know if both part. I mean, even if, let's just say case scenario, they're not talking. They have mutual interest. They could have mutual interest to keep the war going. Men being dragged out of their houses into cars to go to war, in vehicles to go to war. I know this sound crazy. Well, it doesn't sound crazy. It sounds plausible, but um I would have been close in the polls had I did run and put my mind to it of being president. And the reason why is because the people would have saw that this is a original homeless black woman who wanted to see change and did not and um wanted to make change to America and the world. And I would have came close if I had applied my mind. But like I said, instead of that path being brought, I don't even trust nothing that comes out Putin's mouth. But instead of that path, I ended up um, being something ended up happening to me. I don't want to get into detail, but yeah, nobody would have talked to me. And I would have had to been sending people over there that I possibly didn't trust, to take care of my issues. It would have been crazy. So Trump was the best person for the job. Auto pen is what the Democrats did for 40 years plus years to our black on black, black on innocent. It's not even about black on black right now. It's about black on innocent crime. People are dying, whether white, black, Hispanic, they are dying because it's organized crime. It's organized crime. Doom, 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 doom. Boom, boom, boom. He basically looks at his top supporters, and I know I may seem like one of them. I am one of them. I am, you know, and I go above and beyond. I try with every ounce of the strength that's in my body. I try, and I'll apply myself even more to try to go above and beyond. Last week, 9 people were killed and 28 people were shot in the heart of Chicago. Everybody that haven't even been to Chicago know to stay away from Chicago. I knew at such a young age from Chucky, the movie Chucky, they lived in Chicago, that Chicago was such a bad city, a bad, bad city. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Prisker needs to pump his brakes because, and the rest of them, they're wrong, man. They know they'd rather see black on black crime. And it's even, what's even scary is that it's coming from black people that are getting paid to do this organized crime. I mean, here in Seattle, you can be a black man and just get shot on random. You could be a black man and just get, or a black woman too, and just get shot on random. But especially, that's a death sentence being a black man. But what even more scarier is the murderers that we have that would take you out without any empathy, sympathy, no ethnics, no nothing. They don't care about that. Their mind is so freaking gone. And that's why I don't care. I'm going to keep advocating the influence of music on people with that sit up there and rob and kill women and even men. They listen to that filth, and then I refuse to listen to any more rap music. Where do you think we're gonna be in the next 30 years with rap music, y'all? Where do you think we're gonna be? Where do you think we're gonna be? We already talk about, you know, stay 2 cars behind and don't be so obvious. I learned everything I learned how to defend myself subtly, knowing when I'm being followed, knowing when I'm stuff is happening to me comes from rap music. So, I give them that credibility. But other than that, they talk about robbing and murdering, and that is their art. Their art is the art of murder, the art of talking and spewing into innocent, vulnerable, that's the perfect word for it, vulnerable men's minds, and speaking that field. And they feed into it. It's like a politician, sort of like how black politicians try to flock to the black race, to the black race, to make them think that they're this messiah or fake messiah or something that's saving them, when in actuality medical prices is up high, Obamacare was up high. It was 400 or 500 freaking dollars, man, a pop for per person. If this if this benefited Trump, he would literally allow for black on black crime. He would literally won't arrest nobody. He would literally not care. All this time he's a racist. All this time he's this, that, and the third. I look at things differently. Though that music over the course of 40 years will forever be in my mind, whether rap or R&B or sex rated music, it will forever be embedded in my mind. It is my history, but I don't want that type of history. That should not be what our history consists of. Murdering, sex, more sex, and sex to the extreme. Is that's what history you want to leave your little girl, you guys? That's what history you want to leave your little children? My uncle used to take me to Andrews Air Force Base all the time. Now this is Joint Base Andrews. I hope I'm saying this right. They changed the name. He used to take me on Andrews Air Force Base all the time. Somebody gonna take Trump up for that offer, and they're gonna be like, "Well, Trump said he'll pay." Well, let's just call Trump. And you know what's even more crazier is there was bloodshed during slavery, but who's doing the slavery now? Follow the trail. Who is doing the slavery and the butchering now towards the black people? Like Trump is giving us a chance at freedom. Who is doing, we are doing the bloodshed. We are taking undercut deals with certain people, and it's just, it's sad. Get paid 500 to 1,000 to 10,000, depending on how much it is to take out the person. You know, it's sad, man. Like you rather live in this life taking $10,000 to take out somebody, and you you that's a part that's supposed to be your brother, but yet money, like I said, money is the most beautiful. It's a crutch. It's the most beautifulest thing in this world. You can't leave money sitting on a table with your friends there because a dollar gets stolen. You can't leave money in a restaurant and just say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna leave you here and I'm gonna go, to the bathroom, and when I come back, you better be there because it's going to get trafficked or money laundering, trafficked or whatever, trafficked, you know, yeah. You see money makes people go crazy. We know AI could be used as a weapon, and we know that, you can't literally feed a soul to AI, but we don't know what advancements could be done with AI. So, you never know. I hate bringing up stuff that, could be top secret, not to America, but to places like Russia or Ukraine, um, to weaponize their AI and make it into a war machine to strategically figure out, how to try to beat not only Ukraine but America, I forgot to make. Oh man, I forgot that. That's something that. Yeah, never mind. I wanted to say eggs. I wanted to say scrambled eggs with cheese, but yeah, it seemed like I do a lot better fasting. I I I don't know why, but I do a lot better fasting than eating. When I eat, I get a little sluggish. Okay, one more thing. The Ingram, Laura Ingram. And if you don't think these people are evil, like Putin made, I forgot all about the Satan missile that he had. He had a Satan 1 and a Satan 2 missile. Like these are people that work have inside connections with other people, you know, that makes the world go round. Now, even though America helped China to gain its freedom, like 2 weeks after the radioactive material, which was September 3rd, hit America and could have caused a lot of deaths, Xi Jinping sat up there and gave Indonesia a compliment, saying that they appreciate them, the prime minister there. This is old, so it came a little, probably a week ago. This is like a week ago. You see, it's all about making a person broke, but if a person can unite more people and cheat and get very um desperate, desperate, I'm just saying it in those words. If a person get desperate, they probably would sit up there and go through any means by any means necessary to get what they want as far as power within a government, a new world order sort of. Yeah, I was about to say, y'all was about to keep walking up them long hills, them long stairs. Thank you. Thank you. Harvest organs to full God. That's what some of these people have been doing, possibly, or are trying to do so that they won't have to see God during the transition of their asses going to hell. They're trying to cheat going to hell because to be reborn will take years, decades, millenniums. You don't know exactly when. But if you harvest organs, you can keep immortality, and you can be the maker of your own as your own God. She sent a clear message. The Russian and Chinese people being, it's like they're being farmed for their own immortality. So that's a clear message. I get that they're listening to what I'm saying. If not or if they're not listening to what I'm saying, that they came up with they think just like I do, you know. He just said these are mutually beneficial agreements. When people start talking like that, I wouldn't even laugh. I wouldn't even laugh because they are mad scientists. This is technology and science. When people start talking like that, you have to think, do they already have this technology? You know, are they going in between the future and the present? You know, do they go between the past and bring back to life their dynasties and their people that reign in during those eras? What is going on? So that means that when you get sentenced to 150 years to life or indefinitely in jails, that um, you can actually that's not going to apply to no one except those who have power. It's not like you're going to give a regular Joe. If Putin was a regular Joe, where what like if I was to envision Putin as a person, he would be a thug, just sitting up there murdering people. Like who can murder somebody? Like I don't get that, man. Like massive amounts of people. His own people are dying, and he's selecting only a selected few to be a part of the Kremlin oligarch and an oligarch. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Everybody else is an expense to Putin. Everybody else is an expense to Putin. He's an evil guy. If this was out on the street and somebody killed somebody in massive, they'd be locked up to 150. And now I see why they locked them up instead of give them the death penalty. I think they should get the death penalty. They want to keep the ones that are, and then they end up getting out on a technicality like some people have done in the past. To keep them to like, oh, you're sentenced to 150 years in jail plus 3 life sentences. And I always wonder why. Why? Why would you sentence them to 150 years when you know their life expectancy isn't that? So if we come out with technology that you get to live to 200 years old by the time, they hit 70, then they would be able to use that technology to live to 150 and then get out after 150 years in jail if we had that type of technology. Let God judge whether what they did was wrong or not. When they're on this planet in America and they kill somebody, it should be the death penalty. And let God choose where their bodies get reborn. He just wanted you to see what he has so far. But those aren't the things that he has also, like, that's top secret that they're working on, that they have um for their last resort. This is a mad person. you know um he wanted you to see everything, and I'm pretty sure things were you know looked at very thoroughly, but I'm pretty sure he probably got stuff that is he is not showing America. He's been influencing a lot of things, but he's done a lot of things, but he was at the event when Trump roasted Hillary Clinton. He was at the other ball too, or event. Um, he has some thick skin, and that's one, and I know that he's close, like he's like this with Nancy Pelosi, and he's like even more like this with the intelligence agency. I'm pretty sure the intelligence agency stopped talking to him by now, but you know um I don't know where this whole democratic thing turned for the worse. I don't know when it turned for the worse. I could probably research it and tell you, but it was something that pivoted where it was proud Democrats, because even Trump was once a Democrat. So he's seen similar views in some stuff, and then he saw everything, and he said he wanted to do Republican. But Chuck Schumer, he done made some bad choices over. I don't know when they turned violent. I don't know when they turned violent, but they started cheating like a man does or a woman does their spouses. He started cheating at everything, and that's where you shouldn't have to cheat in order to win. I mean, these are guys that want to spend immortality, and yet Trump shouldn't have to chase after prime ministers and other presidents to for a peace deal. Like, that's not his war. They know his pride, the White House pride. They want to make sure they seal this deal, and it's like now they want to break him. They want to play. It's like playing a game of chess. Y'all remember that old game of wars? Like you um it's I don't know, I can't explain it. You have world wars or something, and you play the game of world wars. What would be strategic to do. you know um I have two things to say, and I didn't want to say it. Let me write it down before I say it. So, I feel like watching videos, as long as, it's not, and listen to me. I'm White House, listen to what I'm saying. I'm beating everybody to the punch so nobody can say this years later when I'm senator or whatever I am in the future. I don't know my future. I don't know it. But I do watch videos, but I use it in moderation. Let's just call them videos. And I noticed something that they wear masks, Asian men. They don't allow their men to be on video. Like the woman can be on video, but the man cannot be on videos. The men, they don't show the men's faces. And that was very, very suspicious. Look it up yourselves. Immediately I got very suspicious. And I knew this like 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, why don't they show men's faces? You know, and there is some significance in, but they will show white men and Asian women, but they won't show Asian men and Asian women. Finish a complete scenario without covering the guy's face or keeping the guy's face out of it. And there's significance in that because they don't want weakness. Like 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 have you ever heard of the soul interchange, where you exchange souls, as and it's weakness for them to show their face. And it's proven that your eyes dilate when you know do that or whatever, and it causes a chemical reaction in your brain. So I immediately got suspicious of that, and that's as far as I'm going to take it with that. But I want you to do your own hypothesizing on that, or hypothesis on that, and I want y'all to actually look it up. They rather show a white man with an Asian woman, and it's like they they make, they could be weakened by the army or the military of the Chinese of Republic because of this learning our secrets through transference of stuff. That's how deep it goes. They rather show a white man, um, and I don't care if a white man is with an Asian woman. I don't care if an Asian is with an Asian. But what I do care about is, why isn't it fair if it's an Asian film? Why are you covering the man's face and showing nothing but the woman's face? That's where it gets scary. This isn't something to joke about. This is real. I urge y'all to look it up. There is some significance behind that. They feel we're weaker than they are in the flesh. That's why, Z, if he I don't want to get into what allegedly he does, but I will say that he's in a happy relationship with his wife. So let's say allegedly he does venture out and do stuff. He's probably doing it only for his dynasty and pleasure versus just pleasure. Biden, we know Biden was doing stuff. He was doing it for pleasure. And you know how that got swept by the wayside, the Asian, because no man cares to see another man, whatever. No man cares. So nobody actually cared to know, that it was not really being monitored, you know. But yeah, that's why I believe that it's something in the men that isn't in the women. It's something in the men that isn't in the women. And I think that you can see through the irises, like they have technology, like whatever I'm seeing and whatever you're seeing when you're looking at me right now, that you can see through that. And that's why, police, they'll check your iris. They'll check your iris on facial recognition, you know, and yeah, you can tell a person's behavior based on their iris, you know, and stuff. When y'all happy, I'll give a perfect example. When y'all happy and y'all laughing at each other, families laughing at each other, and y'all looking at each other, that's a connection. That's the connection that y'all have with each other. So both of y'all are feeling, or multiple people are feeling happy at the same time. And so y'all have that connection for that certain time. And have you ever felt like you've been able to finish somebody's sentences, or, you know, y'all felt the same way because y'all have that energy connection, that iris connection with each other? You see, that whole paragraph says, I'm going to be the bigger person and tell Z myself to have a, and the wonderful people China to have a great lasting day of celebration. But yet I know what you're trying to do. He put them on the spot. It was no need to highlight any of that. That should all be said. Like, you just can't go out and buy a license and say, "Hey, look, I need some nuclear warheads. Please give it to me because I have a license for it." Like, how does that work? How do you just sit up there and say, "I need nuclear power so that I could possibly go to war with the United States without having a license for that?" Trump name is a keyword. If you put it in certain places, it probably won't give you no feedback. I was so confused when I was listening to this rap song 3 years ago, and Drake was like, uh, I want to run the world like Putin. And now it's all coming back to me. Like, I'm like, wow. During that time, like, Trump name is censored from the rap music. So if you want to be like Putin, you want to kill your people, your own people, you want to starve them, you want to be a dictator, that's your way of being a rapper. Do you know what the 666 Hebrew means? In the Roman time, that means to take out the Christians. So now when y'all sitting up like, yeah, they saying 666, and then your brother die mysteriously from some sort of disease or some sort get shot. Let's just say I can't prove that. I can't prove that. Let's just say get shot. You know where it comes from. Like the Migos. The Migos is I never heard all of their music, their rap music, but they rap different. They, walk it like I talk it. All my black people out there, walk it like I talk it. You know, it was a hip. I'm not saying all rap is bad. It was a hip, groovy thing to make people dance to, walk it like I talk it. I walk it literally like I talk it, but everybody talking about let me kill that dude. I had a gun butt him and all this stuff, man. It that's not leaving a legacy. Rap started from the Rapper's Delight. It started from Rapper's Delight and Aerosmith and Run DMC, Walk This Way, Talk This Way. Rap will always be rap. But talking about violence and invoking violence and putting your story to invoke violence within other people, to invoke violence within them, is weaponization of music. And the Asian thing with the Asian and Asian, I'm not trying to beat somebody to the punchline. Even though I said that, I'm trying to connect more with God and do above and beyond things for God. I work for God. I work for God. God gives me the strength. He takes away the strength, and He gives me the strength to talk. I'll talk. So Putin had a nerve to say he would be willing to make a peace deal or at least talk to Zelensky if Zelensky come to Moscow. Just like he said to Trump. Nobody goes to Moscow. They know not to fuck with Moscow. You be the like you go on Moscow airspace, your secrets are stolen and take them out. Thank you for saying that, and take them out. Oh, so tonight is a blood moon. Some of y'all are already experiencing that. Um, a blood moon occurs during the total lunar eclipse when the earth casts a shadow on the moon, giving it its reddish hue. You know, was I'm not even gonna say nothing, but I know the White House is like, you know what, you done said too much. It is often seen as a symbol of change, a transformation in various cultures and religions. In some traditions, it is believed to signify impending events or omens, both positive and negative. Astronomically, astronomically, it highlights the alignment of the Earth, Moon, and Sun, showcasing celestial mechanics. The blood moon has gained popularity in modern times, often associated with spiritual awakening or heightened awareness. It serves as a reminder of the beauty and mystery of the universe, encouraging people to connect with nature. So yeah, man, make sure, oh my God, I just wanted to let y'all guys know, make sure that you subscribe to all my channels. So if you're on a go and you're like, I can't see her on YouTube, because sometimes I don't be on YouTube. Sometimes I don't be on YouTube. But you know, follow me everywhere. Support this page. You know, this is a time for change. This is a buildup of the moon's presence for change, or, however they're doing it, whatever is going on in the moon, because there's actually a base on the moon, allegedly. There's a base on the moon. So I'm like, you know, y'all making the moon come on its period is pretty funny, you know. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. But, it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing where you know, align the sun, the moon, and the heavens, part of the heavens, you know. I how long I been on? An hour and 36 minutes. Um, I think this symbolizes hope and change for the best. I think it symbolizes hope and change for the best. Let's say 50 to 100 to 150 to 200 years down the road, we happen to come into a war, you know, um, you know, we have God by our sides. And God always the way God writes his scripts is so crazy, because it's like they always come close to being, devoured or overcome by evil. And it's like they break free and they like, it's God, just like America, always seem to get super close to something happening, and then bam, you know, only in America, seriously, um, but we got God by our sides, not other gods who think that they can seek immortality. You may seek immortality, but, you know, thank you for telling us. Thank you for opening up that hot mic. Like we're gonna just start scrambling. Give me somebody that can give me 150 years of mortality. No, we probably already had that. So I'll leave it at that before I start talking about what I think we have, and it's nobody's business what I think we have. Is, or think you know, I don't know. It's nobody. What I meant by that, let me explain that. What I meant by that is, what I it's nobody's business what I think. Period. Because my what I say don't have no merit. You know. So make sure you pray to that blood moon. I know they're gonna try to put some spells on me tonight, baby, but God always, white light always supersedes the dark light. Always supersedes. So with that being said, I'm about to get off of here. So yeah, the reason why I just happened to look at the name of the person, I get answers. That wasn't an answer, but God, talks to me. He talks to all of us, but I noticed my subtle cues. Like now it's 8:40, 8:40, and I manifest that I want people to understand and acknowledge me, and I manifest that I want people to support me a little bit more and not think I'm just some wacko jacko type person. Not to say I don't know how crazy Michael Jackson was. I'm not there. I'm not there to know if he actually went crazy or did what he did. I wasn't there. Unless he said he did it, I wasn't there. So make sure y'all pray on this blood moon. I'm gonna be getting a lot of spells coming in, people saying, you know what, I'll go to hell, but I'm going to keep doing what I do until I see her, such and such. I can just feel some of the hatred coming from some people. And it's not the good ones. I'm not saying that. I'm talking to the bad ones. One day I'll see myself. I can picture it. I manifest that I can picture myself up on a podium talking. I manifest that I will have stuff that people say bad to me. People might say stuff bad to me while I'm up on a podium, but I manifest that I will get through those things. And I put a protection spell on myself through God, that if anybody is to try to put a spell on me, that it comes back to them times threefold. I don't want to hurt them. Let whatever they try to reflect on upon me go back to them. Thank you.
Never waste my time, you all I want.